Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 39 of Get Real with Rajiv. I'm again coming to you from my home considering we are in this lockdown, and today again my wife Bhakti is going to be the voice of your questions. So Bhakti, shoot the first question.
So our first question is from Oscan Immigration. I'm into overseas education and immigration business, and in the current time I'm operating from home. How can I beat the competition and stand out from the rest of my competitors?
Well, Oscan Immigration, whoever you are, the name behind it, just want to let you know that this is the time for preparation. I mean, through this lockdown when everything is shut, this is the time for preparation. And I would say, instead of thinking about how can you beat your competition best, ask yourself, what is your next level as an organization? What do you need to do to set up your marketing strategies and your systems? What do you need to do to set up your sales strategies and your sales systems? What do you need to do operationally from the point of view of research of new opportunities, connection to people overseas? What can you do from a networking point of view? What can you do from the point of view of training your team members during this time? I think the key for every business which is right now sitting at home because of the lockdown, the key for every business is to do positive action so that you can create progress and use those actions as preparation ground so that you can play the game once the market opens up. So my answer would be, ask yourself what is your next level in marketing, in sales, in operations, in your team training, in the processes and systems of your own organization, and work on that right now during the time of the lockdown. That will keep you ahead of yourself. That's most important. So that's the way I would answer that question. So with that, let's move to the second question for this week's episode. So Bhakti, what's the second question?
Falguni Thareja asks, I have always known that I want to work in a people profile. I love interacting with others and getting to know more about them. It was the reason why I studied psychology and HR. Now I'm not sure if that is the path I want to take professionally. How do I determine which path is the right one to take? How do I narrow down from the plethora of choices I have in my field of interest?
Well, Falguni, the only way to know what works is to work in it. A lot of times I see people who are stuck at the crossroads of making career choices is that they spend too much time in analysis, and that analysis leads to no action, and it only leads to one day you feel motivated about another idea, and the next day you kill the same idea in your own mind saying that I don't think this has this risk and this has this shortfall. So I would say the best way to look at it is take whatever comes your way, get started with it. Explore a few things, give yourself a couple of years where you're exploring 2 or 3 different roles, 2 or 3 different opportunities. Once you've explored it, you have on-ground experience about what is something that you like, what is something that you don't like, where is there a larger economic opportunity, where there is no economic opportunity, and then finally when it comes to choosing, you got to ask yourself what I call the Ikigai questions, the famous Japanese philosophy. What are you good at? What do you love doing? What do people need? And what are people willing to spend their money on? So when you create a combination of these 4 elements, that's when you arrive at a sweet spot. So I'll repeat those questions. What are you good at? What do you have the capabilities for? What do you love doing? What are you passionate about? What do you enjoy doing? That's the second element. Because sometimes we are passionate about things that we are not really good at. So it has to be a combination of passion plus proficiency. You should be good at it. And then you need to see what do people need and where are people spending their money. When you put all these elements together, that's when you arrive at the right profession or the right career to focus on. But before that, you have to give yourself testing time. So give yourself 2 to 3 years of exploratory time, and then after that, choose one and make it scalable. Don't do anything at a minimalistic level or a small level. Whatever you do, make it scalable. That would be my advice, Falguni. With that, let's move to the third question of this week's episode. So Bhakti, what's the third question?
Yeah, Jaggu asks, in one of your previous videos, you made a point that an entrepreneur knows everything and does nothing. So does that mean that I need to have complete knowledge of all the 7 spokes of the business wheel?
Well, Jaggu, let me clarify what I said and what I did not say, because that question in itself is a little incomplete based on what I said. Here's what I believe. For any business to be stable and successful, marketing needs to happen consistently, sales needs to happen consistently, operations need to be taken care of consistently, accounts has to happen, human resources activities have to happen, R&D has to happen, and management has to happen. Now, the challenge with most entrepreneurs is that they are busy doing everything, and when they do everything, they cannot do it consistently. So they do things only when there is a crisis. Having said that, a lot of entrepreneurs do not do a lot of these activities in their business because they don't have the knowledge. So in that context, I said that an entrepreneur has to have foundational knowledge in all 7 activities of business: in marketing, in sales, operations, R&D, accounts, human resources, and management. You need to have functional knowledge. Only when you have functional knowledge can you hire or outsource and truly measure the people you are hiring or you are outsourcing these activities to. That's where it's important for the entrepreneur to know everything. Now, the entrepreneur may not be involved in everything, but at least he has to manage and review these activities. And I always say this, that as an entrepreneur, your primary job is management of the business, and you may be an expert in a particular function or a department. So be hands-on in 1 or 2 activities as well. So that's what I meant, that an entrepreneur should know everything and not do everything. I didn't say not do anything. Okay, so I want to clarify that. Now, coming to your question, should you learn all these 7 functions? Yes, you should. Because think about it. These 7 functions are the foundation for any business. Be it a manufacturing company, be it a services business, be it a retail business, or be it a trading business. These 7 functions are critical. Now, while these 7 functions are critical, like I said earlier, you cannot outsource it or you cannot hire someone without having the knowledge. Otherwise, you'll get taken for granted. You'll be taken for a ride, and all you can do is rely upon the person whom you have hired, which is not a healthy thing for an entrepreneur. So knowledge is the true currency of an entrepreneur, and knowledge of these 7 functions is the most hot selling currency for an entrepreneur. So make sure you have a lot of it. With that, let's move to the 4th and final question of this week's episode. So Bhakti, what's the final question?
We have A. Pradeep Kumar, who asks how to align our dreams, hobbies, goals, passion to find our strong why, and how to develop such mindset to work on the why.
Well, let's break all that list that Pradeep has given us. He said dreams, passions, goals, and hobbies. Anything else that I'm missing? No? Okay. So, dreams, passion, goals, hobbies. Well, firstly, I truly believe that each one of these elements have overlapping meanings and also distinct meanings. So first, let's understand the meaning. What is a dream? According to me, and this is just me, this is my definition. For me, a dream is a vision of the future. What is a goal? For me, a goal is a dream with a deadline. So a vision of the future of where I want to go, by what time do I want to go, that becomes a goal. Passion is what do I love doing. Hobby is what do I love doing for myself as a recreation. Passion can be what do I love doing as a profession. So if you're asking me how do I align my dreams, hobbies, passions and goals, I would say the simplest way to align them is firstly have clarity. What is your dream? By when do you want to achieve that dream? So what is the goal? Okay, what do you love doing? Requires a lot of self-awareness, and self-awareness comes by exposing yourself to diverse experiences. Because when you expose yourself to diversity, you get clarity of what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy. So be a lifelong explorer to figure out what are you passionate about or what is a hobby that you'd like to take. So the first step is clarity. Most people don't have clarity of their dreams, goals, hobbies and passions. So once you have that clarity, then ask yourself how much consumption of my time, effort will each one of these take. And then you prioritize the time and effort that each one of us, these elements will take. Once you've prioritized the time and effort, I think you're living a life of harmony and balance. And balance does not mean 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of family time. Balance always is a function of clarity. What does my goal, desire, hobby, passion require? And am I able to provide it? If yes, in what proportion? If no, how can I create that balance? So I think clarity, then defining how much effort of time consumption will take, and then creating habits and a lifestyle system around these elements will keep you in a sense of inner harmony. Once you have that inner harmony, I think that in itself turns into your purpose to live that life of balance. So that becomes your burning desire and that becomes your why. That's just the way I see it. I know there may be a lot more spiritual gurus who'll have a different interpretation on it, but this is my understanding as a common man of how you do these elements and how you figure out what your why is. Because your why essentially is your fuel. Anything that creates an emotional trigger to take you into an action mode is a powerful why to have. So just figure out what moves you emotionally into action. If you figured that out, then that's a why. We don't need some macro, big spiritual message of what the why should be. It can be as simple as anything that moves me into action mode. These are my simple comprehensions of these very, very deep and complex topics. I hope that adds value to you, Pradeep. With that, we've come to the end of episode number 39 of Get Real with Rajiv. For those of you who come back and watch this every single week, a big, big, big thank you to you. Make sure you share this on your timeline so more people can see it and ask me more questions. And for those of you who are here for the first time, use this number to send in your questions, anything around business, anything around teams, anything around sales, anything around money management. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help and answer as many questions as I can. And now it's time for us to pick the winner of this week. So let's look at which question deserves to win a copy of my book Lead or Bleed. Bhakti, indicate for me who do you think deserves to win. Okay, I'm in agreement with Bhakti on that one. So the winner for this week is Falguni Thareja. Thank you so much for asking that question. My team will reach out to you to get your contact details, and once things open up, we will make sure that a copy of my book Lead or Bleed reaches you. Enjoy the read, Falguni. With that, it's time for me to say goodbye. I look forward to seeing you in my next episode.